Hello everyone, and welcome back to today's analysis. As now for the 102nd episode, we'll analyze none other than Cersei Lannister, the main antagonist of the Game of Thrones. One of the most memorable villains throughout the series, Cersei Lannister is the perfect representation of a greedy, spoiled monarch that will do anything and sacrifice anybody, even family, in order to achieve power. And in this episode, we are going to analyze all the information given about her from the books and from the series to understand Cersei Lannister and how and why she became this way to begin with. And now, let's begin. Cersei Lannister was born in the Castle Rock in Westerlands in the year 261 AC to Lord Tywin Lannister and an unknown mother, and as the twin sister of Jaime Lannister. And growing up into such an oppressed and medieval society, she was forced to officially be put in her place as what women were expected at the time, and that being basically the second place. And specifically at the time, women were mostly seen only as childbearers and tools for political power, and she was used as such a tool, as she was forced to marry with Robert Baratheon, who eventually usurped the Iron Throne from the Targaryens and took over the Seven Kingdoms of Westeros. But behind the scenes, she had a secret incestuous relationship with her twin brother, resulting in both of them having a son, Joffrey Baratheon, who was pretended to be Robert's son, so he will not be killed. He also had a younger brother in Tyrion Lannister, who sadly was born with dwarfism and thus was treated as such by the rest of his family. And eventually around circa 300 AC, after Robert officially died, her son Joffrey became the next ruler of the Seven Kingdoms of Westeros. And so she became the secret power behind the scenes, manipulating her son and going to shape him into what she seeks to be, in order for her to rule Westeros through him, all the while having conflicts with Tyrion Lannister at home, who was overwhelmingly opposing her and Joffrey's evil influence. In tandem with also having problems such as the emerging White Walkers and the Night King, they were mostly dealt by Jon Snow, or even the campaign of Daenerys Targaryen, the last princess of the Targaryen dynasty who managed to escape to Essos and vowed to reclaim back the Iron Throne. But when Joffrey was poisoned by Tyrion Lannister, Cersei officially assumed the throne following her son's demise, and so she became the next queen of Westeros, and officially judged and tried to have her brother killed before she eventually managed to escape, as he eventually teamed up with Daenerys Targaryen and Jon Snow, all of them opposing her and her rule over Westeros, as now she has become the next ruler of all of the Seven Kingdoms, and now she officially rules over all of Westeros with an iron fist. And now, before we continue, we will stop and ask ourselves, is Cersei evil? Because of the fact that while it's undeniable that she is an evil person, and she barely cares for anyone but herself, it should be noted that to a certain degree, because technically speaking, she was kind of forced in this life, given the medieval level society at the time, as well as the fact that she was forced into a marriage against her will, while she all the while loved her twin brother, and she genuinely wanted to have his children, which she did, as Joffrey and many others are officially born. And while she does care about her own children to a certain degree, yet all of them had to die so she can become the next ruler of Westeros. Something that even Jaime ultimately hates her for it. And while it's undeniable that she technically didn't kill them herself, and she will never do it, it should be noted here that she barely cared about their funerals, not to mention that she used their deaths as an excuse to take over the Seven Kingdoms. She doesn't care at all about the people or about anybody but herself and her twin brother, and she cares mostly about power and for her own pleasure and lust, ultimately proving that the answer is at the end of the day, yes, Cersei is evil. In the end, she got killed during the siege of King's Landing by Daenerys Targaryen and her dragon, and she and Jaime both were burned alive by the dragon as the King's Landing was destroyed. And at the end of the day, Cersei was wrong about Tyrion being the one who destroyed the House Lannister. It was herself, her own selfishness, jealousy, megalomania, and stupidity that caused it. So in the end, who was Cersei Lannister? She was nothing more but a diabolical monster who only wanted power and glory in her own name, a monster that would do anything and sacrifice basically anybody in order to achieve her goals, and a monster that could easily be called as one of the most memorable television villains ever created. Thanks for watching, don't forget to give a like and subscribe, and have a nice day.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. There is no middle ground.